that was a nice poop. Oh gosh. Hi guys, today I am doing Joanna's birth story, and it's pretty cool because today is the 30th of July, which is actually her original due date, but she was actually born she was actually born on the 26th at 2:12 in the morning, so that was a fun time. But so we got daddy and baby just hanging out while I tell you guys the birth story. So it started on the 25th technically, because yeah, we went to dinner
at a new place.
And like about halfway through dinner I started having some contractions, but they were just really like mild ones, but I'd had some before like that, and it just wasn't the real deal, so we just kind of decided to ignore it and just go on with our evening. So went to the store, got gas, and then we came home. But by the time we got home, the contractions were, oh, that was a nice poop. Oh gosh. She's like a pro at pooping. Anyways, so at that point we arrived back home, and my contractions were starting to become more frequent, and they were definitely pretty painful, but the duration of them was just all over the place, so I just kind of decided to ignore it. And eventually I tried to take some Tylenol and some sleep medicine to go to sleep and be comfortable, and that did not work because I ended up going to the bathroom, and then I started vomiting, and then I was just miserable, so we decided to just go ahead and go to the hospital. And once we got there, they decided to put us in the triage, and at this point I was like having horribly painful contractions, and I was just ticked off because we were just having to wait in triage and then wait and see if we could get admitted or not. And so at this point I was just like, we were in the triage, I had the monitors on, they said she looked good, they saw us having contractions. They checked me, and I was dilated to 4 centimeters, and
That morning,
yeah.
she had gone to the doctor for a checkup, and she was at 2 centimeters still.
So, yeah, and I was 80% effaced. So that evening, we got to the triage around like 11.
Yeah.
11, and I was at a 4. And so they're like, oh, let's just call the doctor and see if she wants to admit you. And I, again, was like irritated and uncomfortable and whatnot. And I like unhooked myself from the monitors, and I was like running to the bathroom and to the bed and to the bathroom back, just because there was just a lot going on, and I was in a lot of pain. And I yeah, it was just not a fun time. And so shortly after, the nurse came back in and was like, okay, the doctor said let's admit you. And so literally from the time I got admitted, like officially admitted, like we went into our room that I'd be laboring in and deliver Joanna in, and like immediately I went to the bathroom because I was like, I feel like I need to pee. And I sat down on the toilet and I thought I peed, but later we found out that my water actually broke, but we thought it was pee, like whatever. But yeah, once I got in that room and I went to the bathroom and stuff, and the nurse came, I got in bed and got monitors hooked up again, and she checked me and I was still at a 4. And so she just was starting to do everything, and I was very, very adamant about getting an epidural. So they were starting that, like starting the IV and
blood work. They had to run blood work.
And they had to send that to the lab and whatnot, and they sent somebody in to ask me questions about the epidural and whatnot. And then just a little bit later she checked me again, and it was like really quiet and like didn't tell me what I was, and so I'm like, what the heck? And so she got the other nurse to check, and then we were asking her like, what am I? And the nurse was like, oh, you're 9, okay. And then everything just started going even more quickly, and they were like calling the lab, and they're like, we need the results for this, because the anesthesiologist was like ready to go and give me my epidural, and they were all kind of afraid, and I was terrified that I wasn't gonna get the epidural in time. And so
we went ahead and brought nitrous in, which is another pain management drug, just in case we couldn't get the epidural on board.
Especially since I was like 9 and like complete, and like she was just right there ready to go. But yeah, and so somehow I managed to sit completely still through the contractions and get my epidural, and it was like super quickly, and I felt like 3 more contractions after that, and then it was just beautiful. And I was apologizing to everybody who had seen me before the epidural, because I was kind of like obviously like really high strung and like on edge because I was in so much pain. But I was just apologizing to my nurse over and over again. Just I was like, I'm so sorry for how I was. But yeah, and so once I could feel nothing, I was just like a whole new person, and we were like laughing, and like I was cracking jokes and whatnot. And my doctor arrived, and seriously, like as soon as she arrived, she was like, all right, let's start pushing. And I pushed for about an hour, and then this little baby was born.
With all this hair.
With all that hair. Apparently her hair caused some friction while she was like being delivered, so that's part of the reason why it took so long, why I pushed for so long. But yeah, after that I literally felt nothing once I got the epidural. So I was proud of myself though, because I had like the whole time had said that I wanted to try to like last as long, or at least see how far I could go without getting an epidural. And so, you know, I guess 9 centimeters is pretty good. Yeah, but and then we just kind of, yeah, that was basically it. We stayed at the hospital for 2 days, and Joanna's now 4 days old, and she's just a little bit jaundiced, so she spends most of her day in a diaper in the window and being cuddled. Lots of cuddles. So that's pretty much it. I don't think it could have gone any more smoothly. If we wouldn't have left the house when we did, we probably would have had this baby on the side of the road, honestly. But I think in total I labored for like 7 hours.
Yeah, about
7 hours, and then pushed for an hour. Well, labored for 6 and then pushed for an hour. She was born at 2:12. So that is Joanna's birth story. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and it will probably be something baby related. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna get her. She's just like,
Let's change you, stinky butt.